Welcome to the Republic Forum. I'm Jeff.
And I'm Tom.
And that was a tribute to our Wyndham town manager who's retiring.
Hey!
Hey, I don't know how fast he's getting out of town, but I hear it's pretty fast.
What's he leaving for? All the politicians
I don't know.
around leave.
I got a funny feeling.
National level, every level. Now we got our town manager leaving.
I heard he was getting chased out.
Is he of age?
Oh, I don't know.
Is that the reason why he's leaving? Or is he afraid of somebody? He says he's taking a new job.
Yeah, that's what I read.
Northeast Connecticut Council of Governments.
Yep.
So now he's going to try to work with 7 or 8 different ones?
9 towns, yeah. Good luck to all of them.
Good luck for that.
Anyway, hey, listen, it'll be interesting to see who wants to step up and take this job in this town.
Yeah, they're going to have to do a search.
Oh, you think?
Well, I hope it's a good search, not a bad search.
All right,
We've had those in the past.
Wait a second. Can't the mayor just nominate himself?
No.
And take over?
No.
You really got to do?
No, actually, the
you
mayor
can't do that.
The mayor does not take over.
You can't. Well, I know that, but you can't do it like they're doing with Kamala, and also just make her the president pick. Tommy can't just call the Dems together and say, "You're making me to pick," and that's it.
Well, he's not an elected official.
He's not an elected official.
No.
So
you don't do it that way.
Something like that.
And they're not. The Democrats are not doing what you just stated.
Not in.
I mean, I love you guys on the Republican side. You sat there and said that Joe's got to go. Joe's got to go. Joe goes, and now we're going to beg the next person to sit there and say, well, hey, she should have known Joe had to go.
Well, she did know Joe had to go.
Jeez.
Yeah, she was part of the big cover-up.
I just love how you guys are in your national movements, you know?
Geez.
One way you get, and then all of a sudden, we got what we wanted. Now what's going to happen?
From the lying and crying Democrats.
You didn't get what you wanted, though, because you actually wanted Joe to stay in.
Somebody did.
You actually wanted Joe to stay in.
Well, anybody
and now
that
you
watched
guys
the
are
debate
really crying
knew
out
he
there
couldn't do anything.
because the polls are showing, which still change on and off, but the polls are showing that it's a lot tighter now. I would be worried if I was your guys' Trump supporters.
I wouldn't be worried at all, and they're not tighter.
I would be worried.
They're actually
look at the money that's pouring in from people. Just the $5, $10, $500 donations. Unbelievable. Trump never did as much as she did in one night.
Nope.
But I hear he's going after, what do you call it, that crypto, whatever the heck you call that money. Trump's doing very well on that side of it. Because you know that most of that's illegal crap, so. He does very well on that side of the ship.
Oh, geez. Talk about you people and illegal. It's, just because you weaponize the justice system.
Yeah, okay.
They go after him and chase him for this and chase him for that.
I mean, we did that. They went after a Democratic senator, right, who just got found guilty, who he's going out. But that was okay to go after him, according to Republicans, but not after Trump.
And
so if it's anybody with an R, we're doing something wrong.
Well, I'm sure you guys will take another shot at him.
Take another shot. That's not. But going back 7 years, Mr. Rivers has been in this town.
7 years. It feels like a lot longer than that.
Longer than that.
Yeah. Well, it's been painful.
But
it's been painful having him as the manager.
No, I worked very well with him when I was on the Board of Finance. I'm going to be when I had the issues going on with the superintendent of schools, misappropriating money in certain places. He helped Christian. That whole office was right there when I had to ask questions. Now, I know that there's some people that have some issues with him. But to be honest with you, I thought that he understood the town. At the time he went and got this job, if I remember, I think Mike Paulus was also in the running for this. And Mike, I think, lost by 1 vote in order to get this job. But you had two.
Well, Paulus had been here before.
Well, Paulus was an elected official as a first selectman, but then he became a town manager in some other towns, which, to be quite honest with you, if you follow some of the towns, I think the one he's in now is Plainville, has done very well over there. I hope that he actually puts his name back in here because he still lives here.
Okay.
And he knows the area, he knows the politics, and as far as I'm concerned, he's been a good, as far as I could tell by reading in papers, there has been no big issues with him in other towns. He's actually had a lot more growth in those towns since he took over. So for me, I'm hoping he puts in, but I still think they need to do a complete search.
Oh, they should.
You know,
definitely should.
And I hope they don't do it like they did with Neil Beats, the way they hired him, because that took us a long time to get rid of that guy, and we paid him off too. You know, but Rivers, no matter what, I mean, there are some. He's leaving now underneath some issues that are going on at the senior center over here with the pool.
What's wrong with the pool?
Well, they hired a person to come in and manage, and I'm not saying that person's doing right or wrong, but just what's been out in the news media and also on Facebook.
So they're having issues.
They're having
over there.
issues with the person that's running it. Some of the people, and you know, to take everything off. One of the people that have a problem was my sister. With them, I guess some of the people that go in and swim in the morning, they took their rights away from going to swim in the early morning hours and let the strong swimmers come in. I don't know every ins and outs about it, but there was a petition. There was stuff at the meetings that went to the board. And, you know, their answer, Jim's answer, is basically, I'm not going to micromanage my directors of,
directors
of shops.
right.
And I'm going to let them try to see what they believe should be running at this
Well,
point.
I think that makes sense.
So I know that there's been some problems there.
Okay.
I think there's been some problems in how they're setting up agendas and stuff between some of the council people and everything else. But overall, you know, hey, look, he
could have finished the toilets.
Yeah, the toilets, they're not done yet.
Yep.
That's true. Maybe that's the reason why he's leaving.
He's getting it.
It's loaded with over there.
Don't say it.
I won't. I got in trouble last time I said that four-letter word. But, you know, as far as I'm concerned, the town has done a lot better underneath his leadership. He was a lot better than the person before him, as far as I'm concerned.
I'll agree with you there.
I did talk to a politician that came from Chaplin last night, and that person told me that he thought Neil Beats, actually in the meeting settings, was a lot better than Jim.
Okay.
But in the overall setting, that Jim has probably done a pretty good job out here. And again, Jim's from this area, Pomfret, so he knew Wyndham Willimantic and he knew the politics. And that's the biggest thing when you get somebody to come in as a town manager. You know, Neil came in from the Midwest, right?
Yes.
And didn't know the politics. The politics in Connecticut is completely different than it is in the Midwest. So you have to look for somebody that knows it's not a learning curve for them, because the politics is a big learning curve here if you don't come from the New England area.
Yeah, you guys are really messed up.
Well, you know, even from Columbia to Wyndham, it's different. We're always right. You guys are always in that middle section.
You wish.
But good luck to Jim. After 7 years, that's a long time for a town manager to be around, to be quite honest with you.
Really?
You know, in big cities, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
This is a big city.
We're bigger city than most towns around here, right?
Well,
I'm keeping us on the outside of Hartford, you know. Look, who's bigger than us if you take in the Wyndham area? Who's bigger than us?
Nobody.
Okay, there you go.
Right.
You know, even though we're a fire district.
Yep. Multiple
We're not
fire
really
districts.
a city, we're a fire district.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
But
you're a water and sewer district.
When Jim
too.
leaves, I think according to our town charter, it falls upon our finance director, actually.
Oh, joy.
Takes over.
Well, hey, listen.
You
at
know,
least
and I'm not really happy about that, because I think he's got enough work to do with the financial end of it than running the town.
I'm sure our mayor will be happy to step in.
You know, I'm hoping that what they do is go out and, right away, start looking. Maybe they can hire somebody temporarily that's a retired town manager somewhere around the area, have them step in at this point.
Yeah, you know what? I recognize Tommy. I know who she is. I know who that is. I don't know who that is.
That's Bill Sayers.
Bill Sayers.
Bill Sayers is the president of the council.
Okay. What council?
Of the town council.
Oh. Okay, I never met him.
Bill used to be, he's a Democrat. I think he's also the Democratic town chairman. We're looking at a picture that's in the front page of the Chronicle, and it's called Clicking into Place, basically. It's about a $2.7 million investment and to the Father Honan Terrace there. Terrace, I'm doing good here.
Father Hornan.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know
the
where
homes
it
that are over
is,
that
yeah.
actually need a lot of help in here. But
Yes, they do.
Bill ran and was on the bottom line for a while, and then
Okay.
came back to the Democrats, and he won an election. And I believe he's the Democratic town chairman. We've
Okay.
had him on the
For-
show here when you're not here.
For a little bit,
know.
I thought it was Matt Verdefe.
No, they look a little alike. Yeah, I
Yeah,
guess
they
so.
do. They look a little alike.
I guess so.
Yeah, no,
You know?
of course I know Susan. She's still standing there, nice,
Yep.
paying attention. It looks like Tommy's the only one that's lost in the fog.
Oh, here we go.
What, doesn't it?
Could be the age.
Could be. He's getting old. He
You know?
he is getting old. But anyway, good for Click and the investments going on in town. It certainly can use it in
Yep.
these areas.
How about Columbia?
What about us?
You know, we always give a little bit of the bad news around Wyndham Willimantic. You guys had a teacher out there that overstepped the boundaries, I guess I want to call it. Huh?
I would say she did. Absolutely. And, it's the kind of thing, it's happens everywhere and anywhere.
What I don't understand is 11-year-old child.
Yep.
In today's world, how do these people think they're going to get away with this?
I don't know.
I don't get it.
Especially when all that stuff is
and you see
monitored
it almost
and watched
every week
and-
or every month somewhere in the United States this is happening.
Yeah.
Where do these people think?
Well, obviously they're not thinking. Or they're just thinking of themselves and
Well, they got to
whatever
be.
they want to be
They're very.
doing. and
They're sick individuals.
Well,
11-year-old kids. They're
they're-
sick individuals.
11-year-old kids aren't sick individuals.
No, the person that did it.
Oh,
to the
okay.
11-year-old
Yeah,
kids.
you didn't specify that.
All
You
right.
made it sound like it was the 11-year-old. But I don't, anyway, I'm on pass.
But
on
we'll
some
get out
this.
of that. I mean, but that's a bad thing that's happened around the
Well,
area.
you know what?
know?
You talk about Columbia. Remember we talked about the two guys coming out of the woods with the machetes?
Yeah.
And this and that. Turns out that they were actually drunk, for one.
No.
Yes. And that they were actually hunting crayfish.
That's what they say.
Well, no, that's
Do you
that-
do you
that-
actually go hunting with for crayfish
Well-
with machetes?
Well, they were afraid of the snakes while they were looking for the crayfish. And we do have crayfish in the little streams and stuff around. And they are from a different country. So you never know. It might have something to do with that. But anyway,
All right.
it wasn't.
Hey, listen, I'm
wa-
all in favor with your side. You guys believe everything that comes out, so I'm all right with that. You know?
Well, you just can't get that excited, I guess, when some people come running out of the woods wielding machetes. I don't think they're going to necessarily chop you apart. Of course,
No.
of course, you're a Democrat, so they might.
No.
But,
No,
no.
they need us.
They. Well, that's right. You open the border and let them in.
That's what we do. We're always, we're all about free trade, free this,
housing,
free
that, and take it from others and redistribute and on and on and on.
As long as we get it from you, I'm happy.
Well, that's going to run out, so then they're going to have to take it from you. But anyway, what else? We leave early now, and so I didn't get a chance to walk down Main Street for the third Thursday to see how
They
that
had a
went.
very, very good crowd.
Well, they had a beautiful
Weather. It was hot.
Yep.
It was beautiful weather.
And let's see, what was I? I was out today working when the storm came through. I must say, the flash rain.
Yeah.
Boy, it came down like gangbusters. Lasted for what, 10 minutes, and it was gone.
Yeah.
But it broke the humidity. The humidity was horrible today. I hate this.
Well,
I don't mind the heat. I hate the humidity.
I got a question for you, though, going back to our Main Street here. So, I noticed over at the Hurley building, there still is nobody on the bottom floor rented yet.
No.
I mean-
Well, that was supposed to be commercial.
Yeah, I'm still waiting. I mean, all that
Well-
money that's been spent in there, and it's still
Yeah,
not
but,
open there. And
you
then we
know-
got the other building that's at the old Forster building. I still don't see much going on over there. Maybe he's got one guy in there at a time just to cover his back. Two guys there.
Two guys. All right.
But I just don't, all this stuff that's spent,
What was it?
I
Three
remembered.
guys in a truck is the
I
moving
remembered
company?
I had Tom and Bill both on the show, and they were talking about that they understood there was some renters that were coming in, And then that's 3-4 weeks ago now, and I still don't see anybody on the bottom floor. So I know it's kind of hard, but
let's hope it materializes and we see people
Yep.
there and then it works. But, you can go up and down Main Street and there are open storefronts.
yeah, there are open
And
storefronts.
things like that. We've got that new
The building with the
business-
old rugs. What do they call that one? The
flying carpet.
The flying carpet. My understanding that's coming pretty close to being the back end being torn down.
Well,
on there.
it should. I think it should have been taken down a long time ago. The roof's been gone on it and
Well, I
things
think
like
the
that.
town had to go in because it's owned privately.
Right.
And if I'm not misunderstanding, it might be owned by the same people that are building over here. And I think the town had to go in and say that it's condemned.
Well,
know.
some of that, I'm going to put blame on the town for pushing contractors, builders, developers like this to take on more properties than perhaps they want. Or, right now the times are going to permit them for doing with interest rates being as high as they are for borrowing. And the banks are kind of shy right now. I know several people that
Well, they're not shy. They're getting a lot of fees.
yeah. The thing is, if
They're
you're
just not paying out fees.
right. If you're going and trying to get money out of the banks, they are very reluctant right now to lend money to businesses. From what the people I've been talking to that are in that world and doing those kind of things, it's tough right now, and with interest rates being high, even people with great credit and companies with great credit, they're still struggling when it comes to raising capital and things like that for improvements and expanding businesses even. So it's tough out there right now in this state and around here anyway.
Yeah.
But.
So you been out shopping at all lately?
Not really.
Boy, the school supplies are coming out now.
Oh, geez.
You only get that little, 10, 15 days, and all of a sudden it pops right out.
Well, it's like the
You know?
bathing suits coming out in February, and things
Oh,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Pretty soon they'll be
The
talking
Halloween stuff will be coming
yeah,
out.
the
pretty soon.
Halloween, Thanksgiving, and then next Christmas. August. As soon as August is over, we'll be starting to think about Thanksgiving and Christmas. So it's constant. But evidently, people are spending.
Yeah.
People are out shopping, spending money. They're putting balances on those credit cards, I'm sure, for a lot of them.
Well, when you talked about for the United States, when you were sitting there talking about businesses growing and stuff, I mean, today the economy actually grew more
2 point
and faster
something.
than what they thought.
Yep.
So, I mean, there's still money out there. And there's
Oh,
still
of course,
businesses growing
and
at
it's still
this
going
particular
round and
point.
round, yeah.
Jobs. I mean, you're still at a low job rate for people. I mean, so there's jobs out there for people to go get still,
Then how can we have so many people on unemployment and so many people in, assisted government housing and things like this? If there are that many
Well,
jobs.
I think there's people that, you got people that are in government assistance. I don't say nothing bad about this. Some of them have issues, some medical issues. So they're on those programs. That's
I
there.
understand that, but I see a lot of people that there's nothing physically wrong with them and things like that, other than maybe they've got an 8th grade education or not a great education.
You know what I don't get? I mean, I see it in this town, but I also see it in other towns. And I know I'm going to get hit by somebody with this because
That's okay.
You got people living out in the woods.
All you got to do is call
I
me
mean,
up.
you go
and
up Club
ask me to
Road.
hit 'em.
Some people still call it Cemetery Road, but you go up there. There's like a tent, and it looks like there's 4 or 5 people living. And I'm surprised the church isn't doing it. It's on a church property. They park a car out in the street, and then you go by there at night, and there's lights up. They got a tent in there and everything else. It's been in there for months.
Really?
And you go by that end of it. I mean, they're still out in the river out in here. And
Sure.
Look, I get it that apartments and stuff are hard to rent.
Well,
but I don't even think
they're
that
hard
these
to
people are
even,
looking at that.
They're hard to find. Vacant unit. I get calls for apartment rentals all the time, and I don't have any. There are a lot of people that are just full. We're not.
In this town
we're
here,
not building a lot.
I should have asked Lynn because when she was on the show, she's more in tune to what goes on with the homeless people around town. But I know during the winter we have a shelter for them, and
Correct.
it's being redone right now.
Yep.
It's just below the hospital.
Right, over on
Up there, but they don't
Mansfield
have a
Ave.
place for them during the summer, I would take it.
No, well,
at this point.
you know-
So they all leave from there, and if they don't have places to go, they're living out in our woods at this particular point, which is not good.
Well, it's
be quite
it's
honest
not.
with you.
No, it's not good. It's not great. But once again, it's better than on the street. And I don't know if you're paying attention, but Gavin Newsom now is, gave the orders to clean up all the encampments in San Francisco and stuff. Get all these people off the public property that are camping out, making a mess. Because
But don't you still have squatter rights in this country? I mean, if you lived on a piece of property for so long, what happens?
Well,
know?
if you want to live there for that amount of time or something, I don't really think you do. I think there are places where you can homestead still.
Yeah.
Squatters' rights.
I know certain states you can do that.
Yeah,
the
right.
Homestead, but I was just wondering. I mean, if these people stay out in a certain part and they're in and they're in an area, private property or something, and they're sitting there, how do you get them off?
Well,
at a certain point?
you got to go through the court system, but
So there is a shelter that is open year-round next to where the renovation one is happening. Somebody was called.
So when the renovation one, so that you could hear, somebody just called in and said there is a shelter that these people can go to. At this
That's
point in
year-round.
town, it's year round. Okay.
Okay.
I didn't. That's why I'm asking, because I didn't know that.
I thought they shut down too. I'm pretty sure I knew they had something where they could go shower with bathrooms and things. And I think, was it on Bridge Street? I don't know if it's still there. But there was an area down there
Yeah.
where they had bathrooms and showers available to people like that. And that's
don't
good.
get me wrong. I feel sorry for these people that have to. When I drive down through that road and I see, I
They're
don't know,
having a party.
Don't know if there's a family in there or something.
Yeah.
But it just, they park the car on the outside, so you know that they're either going someplace to work or doing something.
Yep.
But they're not harming anybody. Don't get me wrong. But it's just something to see that. I know that it's the church property, because it's between the St. Joseph's Living Center and the French Club, and they've been in there for. I'm going to say, I think at least one person's been in there all winter long.
Really?
But all of a sudden, the last couple of times my wife and I have gone by, we've seen 3, 4, 5 people in that area. you
Okay.
know?
Well, hey.
I'm just surprised the town's got to know they're in there.
Oh, I would imagine, and
You know,
and if they didn't, they do now.
Yeah.
So
Well, it's not just. That's just
No,
one
no,
area.
it's
I'm sure there's more. You can go up and down probably our
Hey,
riverfront
you got-
and see them back here.
Oh, yeah,
and it's been going on since I was a teenager. I remember some of them back there. So
Oh,
we're
yeah.
always going to have a problem with homeless.
You've
There's
got
no doubt
a
about that.
tent and stuff up by Key Bank,
Yep.
way up by going towards Mansfield. I'm sure there's a lot going on in Mansfield Hollow.
Hey, before we have to go to our break, I just want to say that one of our biggest listeners that we've had for years, she used to stop me at the grocery stores and everything else. She never called in, but she always told me she loved listening to the show, is Mrs. Millard. She had passed away this past week, and she was the mother of Tom Millard, used to be a council person in town from it. So,
Well, our
very sorry
condolences
for her and her family. But she was a big-time listener to our.
Oh, okay, dope. But we'll be right back. Hey, welcome back to the Republic Forum.
I'm Tom, and you're who?
I'm still here.
Hey, so we wanted to come back, and we did want to talk about that we had a passing of one of our politicians and one of
Yes.
the people that do a lot of work in this town, Anita Sebastian. You might know her being with Ernie, our mayor that we had for a great number of years. But Anita was on the Board of Finance with me
Yes, she
for a
was.
number of years. She was always very good and in touch with what she was doing, and she's going to be missed in town. Not only that, she did belong to another group in town. I think it's something like Wyndham, I could be wrong, Wyndham Cares or something, that she was one of the founders with Ernie and Dawn Niles and stuff. And they did a lot of stuff with the kids' programs, and if there was somebody, I remember somebody getting sick overseas, but they would raise money for certain things, Christmas gifts, making sure the kids all had something. So she'll be missed big time in this town. Sometimes you got a quiet person with a big stick. That's what Anita was.
All right. Well, once again, my condolences out to her family and of course Ernie. And she was missed. I can remember dealing with her, back few years ago. Well, quite a few years ago, and she was always a reliable, polite individual. With good heart.
I still remember when they were out, they could be out on Route 14, 203. They could be out by the, grocery stores, and they're looking for money for donations for the kids. And she'd run up to me all the time trying to get that money out of my pocket.
Maybe easier to get it from you than me.
Yeah.
But,
well, that's true. That's true.
But, I used to like it when they did the George Washington thing.
Yeah. How about the Titanic? Her and her husband used to do the
Right.
things with the Titanic and the museums. And then, of course, they had the business there. The
auction house.
The auction house, and then they would do stuff down at the mall too.
Yep.
And stuff. Yeah. So you saw her around town quite a bit.
Yes, active.
Quite a bit. And I'm sure Ernie's going to be at a loss because those two are always together.
Well, Ernie, just take your time and kind of sit back and let things unfold.
Yeah. So the town's going to have to be looking for, and I'm not sure I'm not sure if she's elected by the Republican Party or Bottom Line Party, and there's a little different rulings on how they fit the seats. But she was on the Board of Finance.
How they fill the seats.
Fill the seats, fit the seats, whatever you want to call it. But they're going to be.
I would say
they're
fill
going to
the
have
seat.
to fill the seat.
Yeah.
Fit the seat, fill the seat.
Anyway, I was just thinking, why don't you put your hat in running for the town manager?
No.
Why not?
No.
After all these years of running the Elks up there and this, that, and the other
I've
thing,
still got a lot to do with the Elks.
Running the town should be pretty simple for somebody like you. I mean, I don't want it. It's not something I'm interested in. I'd just assume find a way out of Connecticut.
No, find a way out of it. How old are you?
70.
And you're still here. You're not leaving.
Oh,
you're not leaving.
I wouldn't say that.
You've been saying that to me for 5 years, and you're still here. The day I see you get the U-Haul truck and see you going across that line, I'll believe it.
It won't be a U-Haul truck.
You might be going up for 2 or 3 months, maybe up to Maine or something like that, or maybe some weekends, but you ain't leaving. You're like me.
Oh, jeez.
We love it here. We're stuck here.
You're right.
Really, what better? I always say this to people. We live in a town that has a lot of different people. Okay, a lot of different political beliefs.
Well, yeah.
Okay, this is America. I mean, really, if you look at Wyndham Willimantic, this is America.
No, absolutely.
And why would you want to? You want to live down south for those people? I like going down there to visit, but they got a different way of thinking.
Yes, they do.
Okay, than what we do up here in New England.
Oh, absolutely.
All right, and for me, it's not the right way. Okay? I mean, there's still a lot of feelings down there that they haven't lost the war and the Civil War. That's still going on with them.
Well, some of that,
it's unbelievable when you start to listen to people down there.
Some of that is craziness. I'll agree with you there.
And then you get some of the people that that lived up here in the north, worked all their lives up here, and then they go down there and retire.
Yeah.
Boy, do they change.
Yes.
It takes about a year. And boy, do they start changing.
Yes, they do. Well,
they might have had good jobs up here where they had good benefits, but they get down there, screw those people. We don't want them getting. I don't want to pay my taxes down here.
No.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, well, hey, listen, my sister moved to Louisiana, and now she talks different. She sounds different. She thinks different. Oh, yeah. No,
She's a Democrat now?
True.
There it is. There it is. Well,
probably.
She just learned. She found the light. You haven't found it yet. I have this big circle of light up here. I'm not talking about that one, Jeff.
Yeah, no, I don't think that's got anything to do with it. I mean, she's got a big horse farm and a husband, and that's what they do.
Yeah.
And we don't talk politics because we don't spend that much time together or talking with the distance between us, which kind of seems funny.
Were you surprised when Biden got out?
I was a little bit surprised the way he did it. I had a funny feeling that something was going to happen with the way things were going. The debate didn't go well for him. There was a lot of people starting to pick up on certain things, mannerisms, this, that, and the other. And I think he was. I think he was struggling, but even like some of the people on MSNBC and your favorite shows say, when you've been in a job or you're hit a certain age and you've been doing this for so long, it gets tough to walk away. It really is.
That's where I think for me,
and I think he's always his problem.
He's always been a fighter.
Yeah,
and there's been a lot of elections where people thought he was done.
Yep.
And he's fought and he's come back. I mean, even when he was going this last time, not this last time, but the time he won the presidency, when he was going through trying to win that Democratic nomination, I think he lost the first 3 states, New Hampshire and a couple other ones, before I think he won South Carolina. And that pulled him back in, to get the nomination, to be quite honest with you. So the way he was talking all the way up until he got tested with the COVID, but I don't think that had anything to do with it.
I think
it gave him time to sit down, basically, and think about it a little bit more. But I was very surprised.
I actually think that he made the decision before that.
You do, because
I
thought maybe once Obama came out and said that it was, I don't think it was leaked out, but once that got put out in the forefront, I think that was probably the sign right there that he was done.
Well, it could have been, but once again, I
was surprised. I knew it was. My heart, it probably was the best thing to happen, but I was still surprised that he actually pulled the trigger, because I thought it was really late.
Surprised that he and a lot of the other Democrats are letting Obama pull the strings.
I don't think Obama's pulling the strings.
Well, he came out and said this, that, and the other thing, and the next thing you know, it goes go.
When Clinton's, Obama's, and Nancy, whatever her name is, from San Francisco,
Pelosi.
I don't want to say her name.
No.
I'm not a fan.
No.
But when those people there that have some power within inside that circle, it's just like when Trump says something. He's got the power within his circle.
Yep.
It had to listen to it. I do agree that it was time probably for him to do that. You're right. He did not have a good debate.
Nope.
There were some other things that were happening. I still think, too, as you get older, he had some childhood stuff where he stuttered and everything else. And he always had that
that's okay.
fight.
I don't
he
mind
always had that fight, and I think that's part of where he's always, when you get older, you still, if you're fighting that every day, it's a little bit harder.
Yep.
But I still think that he had his faculties, and I don't like the fact that as soon as he decided that he wasn't going to do it. I mean, you got a politician right now that's putting up something to go after that he should be out of office right now. I mean, there's nothing at this particular point in time that even gets you close to pushing him out of office right now. Trump and all these people should have just said, thank you for your service. He's out of it now. Now you're moving on. Trump can sit there and take the thing that he wants to say that he beat him. But he didn't beat him, okay?
Well, no.
But if you want to say that, I'm fine with that piece of it. But, this whole thing of attacking him, the guy's done.
Well,
let it go and go do your attack. And who else now is your front runner, and you go along with it. But he's got no.
I think there might be some question in a lot of people's minds: is he competent enough to be doing the job he's doing?
I think the people around him, just because he got out of the office, and not office, but got out of running, doesn't mean he can't do the job.
Oh,
and I think he's got 6 months left, and I don't think there's anything that's shown me that he shouldn't be in that spot. Because what are you going to do at this point? Have him resign, and then you're going to, who gets the job, right?
Well, it would go to Kamala.
Right. So who gets the job?
Yeah.
So you're already saying that she's not competent to be in the job, and you guys are trying to. I'm going to the point. You guys talked.
I don't even know if she's going to be the nominee.
She'll be the nominee. It's done.
You think so?
Oh, she's already got enough support to put her over the top.
Maybe.
Okay. I think you guys are going to find out pretty quick that this is a dog race. And it's really going to come right down to the wire because I think she's a lot smarter than you guys are giving her at this point.
If she's going to be president or something like that, I would hope so.
But I still think that you're going to have a lot of people that will still vote for her because it's still a vote against Trump.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I still think that's there.
all right. There are
as long as they feel that she can do part of the job,
cut their
that
nose
it's going
off
to
in
go
spite
there.
of their face, and they can do that.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. Oh, it'll get better when we get a whole lot closer. No, it's this.
Yeah, I get it.
No, they said I can't say things.
Oh, you can show things?
Yeah, that's fine.
Right.
You got to love.
See, I got that.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I know the rules. See, and I get to play them and push them and do what I wanted. But anyway, hey, listen, it's absolutely right. It looks like we've got a wonderful weekend coming up. The
Beautiful
weather's
weekend.
going to be great. And what else is going on coming up?
We got primaries coming up in a couple more weeks. Judge and probate primaries.
that's
We
right,
also
that's
have
right.
some state Senate seats in the Republican side. I think has got some people running. So
Yeah.
stay tuned for that. I'm surprised
Oh,
they
yeah.
haven't been around asking to be on shows yet.
Well, it's still pretty early. I know there are signs. I've seen some signs up.
Yeah, I think it's the second week in August is the primary.
Yeah, but
Not that far away.
well,
2 weeks.
Senate races, this
Yeah.
and that, and I've been telling people it's a little early to be putting up a lot of signs at this point.
And I know it's early tonight, but we're going to be going off the show
Yeah,
a little
we've
bit early
got a
tonight because
few things we've all
few
gotta
things we
do.
have to go do.
So till next week, good night and God bless.